Hello, hello, how are you? Dawn L, and this is the Embodied Oracle show that I love doing, and I've missed it last week, so I am so excited to be here. I'm going to be talking about the art of surrender, which has been a dear and close companion in my life. And if you don't know me, my specialty is soul embodied leadership, leading from your soul, seeing it through the lens of your soul, working with source energy to create your most brilliant life. And this topic has been, surrender is one of those words where I think so many people are like, what the heck does that even mean? So I'm going to explain it to you from more of like a macro level and then a micro. And so from a macro perspective, right? We have these lives that we're living, and we have different things that we want to see happen, and we want to have these goals and intentions come true, and just all these things that we have. And the thing that you might be working from the foundation is control. So surrender is kind of the opposite of that. It's like there has to be a trust and a faith that things are happening for you versus to you. So I'm going to start, that's the macro. Let me just close this door. And then the micro version of this is how you're operating on a day-to-day existence within maybe a specific area of your life. And I'm going to I love, telling stories. And so I want to tell you a story about something that's actually come to fruition. So if you've heard me maybe talk recently about, I actually have a retreat this weekend. I'm starting a retreat tomorrow on Thursday. And this retreat, it's called Soul Remembrance. I'm doing it with my business partner, Whitney Yarnell, who I do retreats with. And we had this vision that we had back in February. And it was this like really strong vision of how we wanted to do this retreat, how it's going to be different than some of the other retreats that we've done. And when we were talking about the vision, it was electric. Like, it was just like, oh my God, yes, this is what we're supposed to do. This is, our next big thing. And it just felt so exciting and so tangible. But as we were, putting this into motion in real life, things didn't seem to be coming together as quickly as we wanted to. And so we wanted to fill this retreat. We had 10 spots, and we're like, okay, how are we going to do this? So to make a long story short, we do have the 10 people. But what it created was this feeling that, okay, we have this thing that we want. So you may have an area of your life, whether it's in your business, your health, where you want to shift something. Okay, that's the first thing I want you to think of. And I want you to think about how you're showing up for it. So her and I were, doing our normal marketing efforts and, trying to like control like how we're showing up in those ways, of course. But there was a bigger piece to this. And that bigger piece was we didn't even know exactly how all of this was going to work, because a lot of the times you don't know the how. And the thing with surrendering is you give up your control of the how in your life. And you really step into this amazing space, like I said earlier, of trust and faith around how this is going to be created. Because if you have a soul knowing, a vision, an idea that feels really divinely inspired, you are supported in it. It's going to come to fruition. It's going to happen unless it's wildly out of alignment for you. So what we had to do was get out of the way. That was the biggest thing with us. And there's so many times in my business and my life, I think I know how something's supposed to go down. I'm trying to control it, and I'm in my own way. I am literally blocking what wants to come through for me in my life. So if you're trying to change or elevate or do something in your life right now, I want you to think about how you're showing up towards it. Are you showing up from a place of faith? Or are you trying to control and micromanage how the universe is going to respond to what you want? So the moment that Whitney and I, let go and really surrendered this beautiful retreat and said, God, what do you have in store for us? What does this look like? How do we fill this with the most aligned and amazing women? because our current efforts that we had been doing hadn't been working with the results that we wanted. And we surrendered what we knew to step into the mystery and to come through. And I'll say miraculously, but it's not really a miracle. We filled those 10 spots because we got out of our own way, because we obviously did the strategy and the things in the 3D world that we had to do, but we stepped into this deeper mystery and space of trusting the infinite, intelligent field and space of what we wanted to create, which meant not knowing how everything was going to happen. We didn't know the exact how. We just had to release. That's what you're doing when you're surrendering. You're really releasing something to source so that you're moving beyond the limitations of the mind and especially the past, because you think you know, but we only know according to what we've lived. So surrendering it's like the art of stepping into the mystery and allowing divine forces to co-create your reality and whatever that specific thing is beyond your wildest dreams. And so I am so excited because, tomorrow we're going to get to great, and the women that filled up this retreat are incredible. They're so fun. So I want you to think about how fun and how much easier things can be when you surrender. If you have not yet read the book, The Surrender Experiment, I highly recommend it. It's by Michael Singer. And it's so interesting in this book because his whole thing was he was going to say yes to everything that came in his reality. He wasn't going to say no to anything. And how when he embraced what was showing up in his reality, he flowed and things grew and things shifted and all this stuff. And so that's what's so cool too about surrender, is that you're flowing more with life. You're not holding on so dearly. You're not trying to control every single thing that happens. And I know for me, I see it as divine relaxation. I really do. I see it as oh my God, if I am trusting that life is bringing me exactly what I need, and all I have to do is show up for it and be my best self, then I feel my nervous system relaxing into that. I feel myself being able to flow with what is and really trusting that the highest outcome is going to come. So I'm going to keep this short and sweet today because I have so much exciting, fun stuff that I need to work on today with my retreat for tomorrow and be prepared for. But I just wanted to share with you what surrender looks like and how juicy and delicious it can be when you're allowing yourself to open up to that versus the state of wanting to control things. One of my mentors always says, and I've said this before in this group, is get out of God's chair. Get out of God's chair. And one of my favorite things to do to really shift into the art of surrender is I imagine going into the room of my heart. I always feel like there's a sacred space within my heart. I lead all my clients into it. You go into your heart and you think about all the content of your life, like the mental, the stories, the emotional, the feelings, the thoughts, all that kind of stuff, what you're holding on to physically. So physical, mental, emotional, energetic, and spiritual. Think of all the content of your life right now. And I want you to imagine that content becomes a ball of energy. And I want you to see how heavy or light that ball of energy is, because you're carrying that around on a daily basis. Because you think maybe on some level unconsciously that you're in control of that and you need to figure everything out for your life to be a certain way. But I have news for you. It doesn't have to be like that. It doesn't have to be difficult like that. So imagining just like a drop of water going back into the ocean. Imagining this energy, you're surrendering it, that content, and you're giving it over to Source, where once Source has a hand on that energy, you start to access unlimited potentials and possibilities. You start to co-create beyond the limitations of your mind, and that's when things get really exciting. So that is one of the daily things that I do in my life, especially when I go to bed, because I want to be in a state of surrender as much as I can be. I don't want to feel like I have to hold on to everything. And surrender can be hard. It really can be when you think you know the way things should be or has to be this way. Surrendering can feel like giving up, but it's not giving up. It is truly aligning to the highest timeline that's available to you and making space and room within yourself to receive. So, hope that helps you guys. I wanted to share that Whitney and I are doing another retreat in Maui in November. I'm so excited. This retreat is so luxury. It's early November. If you want the details, it's all about superabundance. It really is about learning that feminine art of receiving. And of course, the surrender is part of it. So if you want details, message me. I hope you guys have a beautiful rest of your week, and I will see you next week.